Hey everybody, how's everyone doing? This is going to be a somber episode. I'm not going to do anything fancy for an intro. Welcome to EML77 TV. This is a very special tribute episode. Episode 374 overall, but it's a special tribute episode. Why? As of 10:30 this morning, my grandmother, Maria C. Lima, had passed away. I call her Vava because she's my grandmother. Well, she passed away at 10:30 this morning, and she was a member of Mount Carmo Church for a long, long time. You know, very big with her husband, my grandfather, Carlos B. Lima, who passed away back in January 2004. And now they're both, after 15 years apart, they're reunited up in heaven. And it has been very tough on my father. He had a rough day trying to plan everything and all that, and we've come up with everything needed, and so next week's the first half of next week is going to be very interesting journey, to say the least. So I just want to pay a little bit of tribute to her because she has been an influence in my life. She's always helped raise us grandkids, 11 grandchildren, and a lot of great-grandchildren left with, and it's been, it has been that kind of, it's been that kind of year for me, and my grandmother was getting up there in age, at the age of 94. When she passed on, and she, you know, what we Portuguese, folks do, relatives, especially with grandparents, is when you go over their house, they make you eat. And that was the main thing. Is like, they don't want you to go there, and they're very hospitable people. And my grandmother especially, go over to houses, and she always offers my sister some cookies and all that. I will never forget when I was a kid growing up, and when my dad was single at the time, when my dad was going through a divorce and whatnot, we used to go over their apartment house in the south end of Bedford for Thanksgiving, and they had an apartment, and we used to go to the second floor of the apartment where my aunt lives. My aunt and uncle live at the time. And because they had a table big enough to fit all of us relatives, we used to sit down, and I get excited because, my favorite part of Thanksgiving that day, she always makes these it's not like a traditional all-American Thanksgiving dinner. We have the turkey, the stuffing, the potatoes, the mashed potatoes, and whatnot. But my grandmother, adds a little bit more. Adds a Portuguese flavor to it, where she makes this big bowl of Portuguese ziti, Portuguese baked ziti. It's like a Portuguese chop suey type deal. And I was so hyped every time it comes there, and it smelled so good, smells so nice. I'm like, forget all that. I want to eat the ziti. Give me a simple turkey. Give me a few pieces of turkey and some stuffing. I don't mind stuffing. And so, okay, I want some ziti, and that's what it is, some ziti. And I get really excited about that. And and she made the best ziti ever. And I could not, it's like I want more of that because it was so delicious. And I will never forget also all those times we had Christmas Eve over at their apartment as well. And when they moved in Dartmouth, and it gets bigger and has a Portuguese, it's always like a buffet. You go over there for on the holidays. It's a big, huge Portuguese buffet every single day, every single time of the holidays, I should say. We go over there. It's a big old buffet. It's like you got lasagna, you got your ziti, you got the Portuguese pop shirts, and you got linguiça, chorizo. You got all. It's like a smorgasbord, a Portuguese smorgasbord. I'm telling you, my grandmother goes all out. When it comes to the holidays, she goes all out. When it comes to food, she makes sure that none of us leave without any food. She makes sure that none of us goes away hungry or empty-handed. That's how generous my grandmother and my grandparents were every single time. It was totally insane. My family is one of the most insane family, but you know what? I love them. That's the fun part. And that's what, what it is about me is I love being that insane. Just, it's just totally nuts, totally bizarre. Oh, excuse me. And, and she always talks good about me. She always loves me, and just, it's just unbelievable. And just, she wants to know if I'm okay and all that. I told her fine. I remember making history there. Excuse me. I remember making history as becoming the first grandchild ever given my grandparents a Christmas gift. You see, my grandma was so touched by that. She was in tears. It was really cool. It was a big honor. So I made Lima family history. Everybody's been sending in condolences, and I appreciate that. And so, I'm thanking everybody here, and just like I say, if you happen to be a friend of mine on Facebook and you have commented on this, I do appreciate your condolences and prayers. I'm not crying about it because I knew this was going to happen. I knew this was going to happen. I seriously knew this was going to happen. My parents have told me ahead of time. Wake and funeral arrangements have been in place. They had to be confirmed Monday morning by my father, so we'll get that squared away. And once I do, and that's the way it is. But my grandmother was also one of the best, and I will never. Another memory I always have of my grandmother, and she would take care of me every time my dad would work. Here's the crazy part about the whole thing. Whenever there was a vacation or a holiday vacation or something like that, and my grandfather usually brings me to their place. For the first few days, I started crying because I wanted to be with my father because of everything that I've been through back in the day. But my grandparents took good care of me. They made sure of it, and then they decided, well, we're going to somehow to keep them calm, keep them quiet. So I watched TV and watched TV at their house, and I usually. When I was a kid, we used to watch all the game shows growing up. Joker's Wild, Tic-Tac-Toe, Bullseye was on syndication, was on Channel 25 at the time, WFXT, or WXNE, I believe, at that time. So it was back in the day. And Bullseye happened to be one of my favorite game shows. And you see me play it on here so many times. I think I should play an episode of Bullseye on the next episode to be in tribute to my grandparents, and especially my grandmother. And she always took good care of me. And I get excited every single time Bullseye comes on. It's like I would sit down and watch USA Network, and my grandparents had cable back then, and they were able to afford it somehow. And back then, me and my dad didn't have any cable, so I usually look forward to put on the USA Network, watch the Joker's Wild, and then when Bullseye came on, I get excited. I was like, hype, yeah, all right, Bullseye, my favorite game show, and watching, I was like, hey, look, I'm watching Bullseye. I remember, and sometimes I go up, sometimes when my grandmother had to work, she would send me upstairs to my aunt, on the second floor where my aunt lives, and we used to, I was like, hey, because, my other aunt, Sandy, she worked at McDonald's, and she was young, like, hey, look, I'm watching Bullseye. It was one of my favorite game shows, so I've always liked that, and I've always liked Bullseye. It's one of my favorite game shows, so I get excited when that comes on. So it brought me memories back, and it was something. And another memory I had of her, when my cousin Bree got married in 2014, that was 5 years ago. She couldn't climb in any of the vehicles because, well, actually, they want somehow for her to be taken care of because, my cousin, they were borrowing my uncle's car for taking pictures wedding pictures and all that, and they said, hey, we can't bring her, and then they asked my parents to say, you can't take her, no, we can't take her. I think, and I was the only logical choice left to bring her on to even ride around. So I thought about it and said, okay, I'm cool with that, I figured, I was hoping to join the others so I could take pictures myself, and posing on Facebook and all that. But that's okay. So I decided to bring my grandmother. No problem. Because one, my car was the only car she can actually get into. So I made sure, and they said, we're going to bring her to Cora and Brandon's. And that was my sister and brother-in-law's. At that time, we were still talking to each other at that point. So I said, okay. And, my dad let him know. And my brother-in-law was not very happy about that. And, listen, I can understand what, they're trying to be safe and all, but listen, it's only for a short time. And I'm very, I don't know why he's been acting like that towards me. So anyway, so I brought her over, and it was really cool. I got the chance to talk to her, and she had a little short-term memory loss. My grandmother did, and so she kind of repeat the same questions to me. Do you have a job? You still work at the mall? It ends up happening that way. But she was so sweet. She was so sweet. She was so awesome, and I'm going to miss her. I'm definitely going to miss her. And, and this is the sad part. And every time someone in our family dies, it's like a funeral. We always have a family reunion. That's the only way. But I know they're going to go all out. And they're going to go all out. And I'm going to be a pallbearer at her funeral. And we're going to take it. We're going to take it from there. And it's going to be something. That's all I'm going to say. We'll talk about my experience at the funeral when I come home from all this, and we'll see what happens from here on out. And yeah, it's like I said. There's a lot of stuff going on right now, and a lot of changes have been happening. October. I can be totally honest with you. Say this will be the next tough 3 months for us. Me and my family, but we're going to get through it. We're going to get through it, going to stay strong and all that. It is not, like I said, it has not been very easy, so my father has to deal with all this. But all I can say is, in conclusion, before I end this video, to say thank you, Vava, for everything you taught me, everything for your kindness and your love. I am honored to be your grandchild, and always have, and always will love you. And I know you're going to be in a better place now. You're reunited with Vava and Auntie Linda and my biological mother, who passed away in 2012. My Auntie Linda died a year after Vava died, my Vava. So you guys are reunited, and just let everybody know that we're going to be okay here, and we're going to stay strong. You were the glue that kept our fam together. In fact, my cousin Shane said this and posted the picture. It basically said, it's because of you the fam exists. And you're right, the fam will exist. I think your legacy will live on through the fam. That's all I can say on that matter. And, like I said, I'm honored to be your grandson. And I know you're in a better place now. And the only last time I'll see you is in a casket at the wake. And then at the funeral, I'll be her pallbearer, which is going to be very, very interesting for sure. And so we will see what's. So I will show my respects and talk about my experience. And I've been to funerals and wakes before, but this is nothing new. But still. Sometimes you go to a wake and funeral and things change. People change and all that. So, hopefully, a lot of people come out and show their respects, and I do appreciate. I'm going to give you I'm going to let you know ahead of time. I want to thank you for all your condolences and your thoughtfulness and your prayers. I do appreciate them. I'm sure my family appreciates it. And thank you for. Thank you for helping us. Thank you for your understanding as we grieve at this time. But we'll be stronger than ever. And we are Limas, and that's the thing to it. So I'm proud to be in a Lima, and honored to be who I am. And it's because of my grandparents and the way they instilled a lot of things inside us, and they teach us a lot of things, even though they love us. And that's the way it is. So I do appreciate the love given, and I'm hoping that I'm hoping that when I see my relatives again, and I will see them for sure, and just pay honor and pay respects. So, and thank you so much, and that's it. So that's all the time we have on the show. God's blessings, life, love, and light to all of you. Pay attention; you might learn something. Catch you on the flip side. And remember this, folks. Sometimes there are situations in the past that we can. There are situations in the past we cannot change. But also, there's our current situations that we are struggling. Sometimes we're stuck in these situations, and sometimes we can change them so we can have a better future. I'm hoping to change everything around me, and we'll see what happens. And life may not be easy, but you know what? I'm a Lima. I'm staying strong to the end. Again, Vava, thank you. Obrigado. Vos ves, and rest in peace. Vava. I love you. So I'll see you guys later. You guys have a wonderful day, and just keep me in your prayers, and just stay strong for each other. All right? See you in the next episode. I'll probably pay a tribute to my Vava with some bullseye. See ya.